Hey guys.
Hello!
So it's time for another workshop update, and Addie just finished doing some soldering here. Let's inspect the work.
It looks great. There are
Pretty
no
good,
bridges
actually.
between the pins. Everything's got enough solder.
When did the potentiometers get here?
Next week. So these are our new SMT Amplify Me's, the LM386 kits, and they are going to go or be available on Tindy next week, I want to say. And then I'm going to be using 6 of them, right? 6 of them to make a, what's the technical phrase? An amplifier unit? A
Yeah.
mixer amplifier unit?
There's speaker drops throughout our house,
Yes,
and she wants to put speakers on all of those drops.
correct.
So she's building a multi-channel amplifier
Correct.
using these.
Using those. And it'll be tiny and very space efficient.
There'll be a whole video on that.
Yep.
Alright, what do we got there?
That is, it looks like the NPN8. Kind of hard to see. There we go. That's another one of our kits that just went up this week for sale on Tindy. NPN8 essentially allows you to control 8 transistors, NPN transistors, to drive whatever you want using shift register. So the shift register clocks in all of the bits, and then upon latch, it puts all of those outputs out to whatever you want to drive. You can use it to drive LEDs, or you can use it to drive, let's say,
Well, you're controlling the base, so the collector and emitter sides are what you hook up to your external circuit.
right.
Yeah. And this is like the bare bones version. It just has the shift register and
And the NPNs.
and then there's
And then this is the lower current version, so to speak. It's what we call the TTL8 module. And Whisker used it as a debugging module for some of the projects that he's been working on. And
mostly because it's got 8 LEDs, one for each one of the outputs.
right, so if you want to, for instance, if you have something that you want to check the outputs on, so let's say you have 8 buttons and you want to make sure that the 8 buttons are working properly, you can hook them up to this, and when you press them, and if they light the corresponding LED properly...
This is serial to parallel, so any
yeah.
binary data you want to be able to see in your micro, you can shift out that binary data to a chain of these things and see it on the lights.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also hook things to those driver pins as well, so you can use that binary data to control things.
Right. So like I used a keyboard connected to a propeller, connected to those modules.
Alright,
And everyone's like, no, I'm more interested in this one.
I've been working on some stuff here. You guys saw the button board previously,
Yeah.
and I believe you guys saw
Wow.
the audio board last week.
Yep. Little chibi thing.
This week I made a board that holds this little connector,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes to this,
Okay.
and the board also connects to this. So that's the power and data lines for an LCD module that happens to fit this case exactly.
Perfect.
And I just have it taped into place right now. Flint's going to help me make a 3D printed frame that holds it in the exact position, and we still need to get the boards back that have the interface that goes from I2C to this.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other boards that we're making for this? I thought there were a couple of other ones.
Yes, there are more than one. Today I was working on, we just sent it out to SH Park actually a few minutes ago.
That's these guys.
You've got the cartridges that fit in the back of the Game Boy case. This is, you know, the ultimate
I'm very
Tetris.
good. I'm very good at it.
So
And I totally owned Whisker at it.
you got that, and it fits into the back of a Game Boy case like so. Which is cool and all, but we need to have our own. So here is an empty one. So today and yesterday what I was working on was designing a PCB that fits into just this leading edge of it and has the same 32 pins there and has a little EEPROM on it tucked right up in here, and then above that a bunch of pins so that I can hook whatever modules I want up here in the cartridge to the pins down there. And again, I'm not really going to go into too much detail on why I'm working on this stuff yet, but you know, I'm just showing everyone the progress, so you know, people like to look at it and drool and all that sort of stuff. In other news, there's a green one with button board and audio board installed and the shield. So there's that with white buttons, which you'll notice are slightly different from the translucent buttons. So that's something. And we've got this one, it's a black one.
Which looks awesome.
And those, I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick this up, but block some of the light. Glow in the dark.
Yep.
And we were talking about screws and stuff yesterday. I added some more stuff to the parts bin. So here's a bunch of direction pads in various colors. These are cool. I like these.
Do you guys have any preferences on colors?
I can do something like 26,000 different permutations of combinations of case and buttons. But yeah, there's the ABs, select and starts. So stuff is coming together nicely. So we run over and take a look at some of the PCBs.
Sure. Alright, so what is this one?
This is the LCD interface board that goes from I2C coming in on the header here. So power, ground, reset, SCA, SLA, or whatever.
SDA?
Yeah.
Serial data, serial clock?
Yeah. There's various caps and resistors and stuff to set up the I2C interface. You can see that a lot of the pins going off to that LCD header are actually connected to each other. And this is just configuring the device to do I2C instead of parallel or something. The power connector is going over on this end, and the LCD connector is there. And there's a little mounting hole. This has to mount to the 3D printed frame that holds the LCD module in place. There you go, SCL SDA. It's a 3.3 volt device. It's been sent off to the park. We'll get it back in a couple weeks and we'll start doing some testing on that one. Let's see, what else have I got? Today I was working on this one. And we just sent this one out. So there's the back of the board. It's got some of the lines, because there's 30 pass-throughs. There's 28 pass-throughs and 2 pins that are going to the EEPROM, which is an I2C device. So we've got 2 of the pins are going right up through these resistors to the EEPROM, and then you got power on one side, ground on the other, and then all the rest of these are passing through up to a bigger header that lives inside. So this is the leading edge of the cartridge down here, and this is the back end, and this is where that mounting screw connects the front to the back of the cartridge. So this board was mostly a lot of seriously accurate measuring with calipers, so you know. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. In other news, we've got one of these in, and we'll go back over to the table and show you that. Alright, let's see here. This just came in the mail yesterday. I haven't had a chance to open it or look at it, apart from the data sheet and such, which had to be translated from Chinese. So here's this little tiny guy right here. And what that is a Wi-Fi module, a $5 Wi-Fi module. And that can be an access point or a client. And you talk to it through a very simple UART with AT commands to locate access point to connect to it, pass packets through it, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be doing some testing with that, and I'll update you guys when I do something with it. CN Lore was doing stuff with it a little while ago. I think it showed up on Hackaday. So I've got one now too. I've actually got a couple, but we'll see. It should be fun.
Cool.
That's it for us. We'll see you guys next week.
Ciao. We post videos all the time, so don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter at TYMKRS.